Hi everyone, welcome. I'm just setting up, so I'm kind of waiting for people to show up too. Thank you so much for joining my live. I'm gonna go over a little bit about what's going on today, but I'm just kind of on here to see answer anybody's questions about their chart. So, as many of you know, I am having a hard time finding a place to live because I had to come up to Oregon. My daughter and my grandbaby are here, my son-in-law, and it's a small town, so there's not a lot. So we're still looking, trying to figure that out. But in the meantime, I can't use my big computer. I don't have a desk set up. So we're doing this old style. We're doing this like um, when I first got to YouTube. So we're gonna see. We've been doing it. It's been doing okay. But I'm kind of looking at stuff and seeing if I can, looking at the angle of the camera. So bear with me. We're doing this like we did back in the day on the bed in my own space. But this is part of my growth. As some of y'all know, I have my second house that has a lot of my value, my resources. And so last night I was reminded, I think it was last night or the day before, I was reminded it's about you and how you translate things. So, all this fancy stuff is cool, but it's not necessary. So I'm just kind of waiting for people to show up. Welcome all of you that have come in. If you can let me know if you can hear me, that would be great. And I know this is kind of awkward, but I mean, I could lay it flat, but then I can't see really well. So I got to see what I'm working with here. We're going to get through this. So it's more about the message. It's more about how I can help. It's more about, my thing is a lot of people want to know astrology, and thank you, Kat. My people, people want to know about astrology, and you can take a lifetime, many lifetimes to learn astrology because there's so many layers. But I just want to, like I did with tarot, when I did tarot for many years on YouTube, I'm just giving you the foundation. I don't know how many people told me I learned tarot through you just by watching you. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I think everybody can learn the basic foundation of astrology, and then you can look at your chart, and when a transit comes, you kind of see how it's going to affect you or might affect you. um, so I am waiting for Kat. Was that you that gave me that comment? I can't even remember who did it. Because here's the deal: I have Kat, I have Kathy, I have Kathy, I have Catherine. I have like five Kathys or Catherines, and I can feel y'all's energy, but sometimes I get you confused. So will you let me know if that's you or not that commented that? And I don't even know if I read it correctly about Capricorn not being in your chart or not having a Capricorn house. Maybe I just read that wrong, because maybe you meant that it doesn't rule a house, which means it might be intercepted. And I'm drinking coffee, everyone. So my daughter and son-in-law took the baby because he'd been sick all week, so they took the baby to run his little energy out because he's full of energy now. They went to the museum. They're just gonna have a nice day out, and I thought, well, this is a perfect time for me to get online and answer some questions and do some charts, and let's have some fun. I am eventually going to get to a place where, because somebody hit last night on last night's live, if y'all saw it, it was really late. But somebody had mentioned back in the Periscope days, we had so many people on Periscope, and we would stay there for hours and talk. And I'd channel, and we'd do cards, or I'd do mediumship, and we would dance and sing and just talk about lots of stuff. But we got to have music on there, and everything is so restricted. My point is, I want to get to a place where I can actually get the licenses for to use the music, and then just have, like maybe a membership thing where we all go hang out, but we can listen to music, hang out for hours. It's just a thought that I've been having. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know, because I do have some options for licensing. It's just it costs money. Sometimes a lot, but sometimes they're making it more doable. So, let's see. So we've got a couple people in here. Welcome, welcome. For those of you that don't know who I am, who are just seeing me on YouTube for the first time, my name is Cindy. I'm at Simply Cindy. I used to be Your Indigo Tarot, or Your Path. Your Path was my first. Your Indigo Path was my first channel. And I still have those channels. I just haven't done anything with them lately. I had gone away from YouTube, so I'm a medium, but I have a lot of modalities behind me. Um, Lots of modalities. I was very, I say, privileged to be able to get all of the certificates and license degrees and anything that is anything that having to do with spirituality. I was able to do that. I do hypnosis. Um, I mean, I'm certified in everything. So I just kind of want to let you guys know, when you're listening to me, it comes from my many, many years of experience. I've been a medium all my life. I was born that way. Um, didn't know what the word medium was when I was a child, and saw spirits and did all of that. And that's the stuff that we'll talk about. Like, if we can do these where we all kind of gather and have fun and have, we just talk about all that stuff. So those people, my group on Periscope, really knows me because we got to really talk about how I grew up as a medium, the stories that I have, all that kind of stuff. And everybody used to tell me their stories too. So we just had a really good time. But for those of you that are watching later, just know that I do have, so because I have this gift of mediumship, and I love science. I have a science, my brain works that way. I'm very analytical. Um, so I always knew that there was a way to bring science and spirituality together back in the day, because I'm a Gen X, right? So I was born 69. Back in the day, I just knew there was a way, but nobody talked about this stuff, right? And this stuff was kind of taboo, and religion was a big thing. So people, I don't know how many times as a child I was called many horrible things, but it didn't matter. I kind of always knew who I was. I may have not been able to define it, but I knew who I was. Now that I'm older, I mean, that stuff really doesn't matter. I've been through all of that. So this is just kind of a way for you guys to understand who I am and where I'm coming from. So what I did was, in my career, I was very lucky to be able, because I have a science background. I worked in the healthcare field. And then I worked in research in the healthcare field, and I worked with, you know, mm, the stuff that kind of happened in 2020. Um, yeah, and those things, I won't say a lot of it because the algorithm will ding you and stuff. But anyway, um, having that science background, I always wanted to, like, okay, I know what I do, but how do I tell people what I do? Or how do I, because I always knew that all of us could do it. So, hi, Majestic, how are you? Um, I'm just talking about where I came from, and that's because there's a lot of people that are going to see me that have never seen me. So, even though a lot of people will be on here that know me, there are a lot that aren't going to know me. So, I just want you to know that I've done as much education and bringing those two together, science and spirituality together, to make sense. And that's what I glean from my experiences, my even my mediumship work. You know, I was at a place, and a lot of my clients for a long time, when I worked in the healthcare field, were top people that did not. Hi, hi, sweetheart. How are you? Were a lot of people that didn't believe this. I don't believe in mediumship or believe in spirituality, or most of them believe that when you die, that's it. You're done, right? But because I'm an evidential medium, when I would sit in front of them and I didn't know anything about them, I wouldn't let anybody tell me who they were. Still don't, as a medium. Um, there was so much evidence that I even had from a very prominent place that you guys probably would know, a physician director say, I'm going to have to rewrite my paper. I'm going to have to rethink everything because the evidence was just, there's no way. Because when I do mediumship, spirit knows, your higher self knows, your loved ones know. When they come talk to me, I don't want evidence that can be Googled or can be seen or can be found. I want evidence that just you and that person on the other side knows, right? Thank you guys for showing up. Yeah, I'm trying to do it at different times because I know I have people all over the world. I know I'm very lucky to have people all over the world. A lot of people don't get that anymore, but I have people all over, and you guys have been with me for so long, and for you guys to be able to, that's why I'm doing it different times. I'm trying because I want you guys to be able to connect as well. I want to give you the time to be on here too and get your questions answered. Um, because even sometimes if you come, if you're on the other side of the world, I mean, I used to do this a lot, where I would have a client on the other side of the world, so I had to do a reading at 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the which was fine with me because I was so practiced in not sleeping with my career. So, but that's not the way that I want to do things now. I mean, I'll do it every once in a while, but uh, I'm a little bit more calmer. I'm a little bit more. I don't have to be up 24/7 anymore. Um, I'm just at a different phase in my life, as I know a lot of you are. So, um, will you guys let me know? Is this okay the way that you're seeing it? I'm hoping that it will be because I can't lay it flat. Can you read my chart? Yes, I can read your chart. Okay. Um, I can't give you a full reading, but is there something that you want to know? I'll give you a little bit of what's going on because I want to give everybody time. And this is probably, um, you're going to have to bear with me because I'm going to be doing it differently. So I'm going to do, hold on a second. So this is the current state, your love life. What's going on with your love life? Let's see. Let me look. Okay, so I think I can do this. Give me just a second. Bear with me. Okay. Majestic, do you want me just to put that name in there, or do you want to give me your name? Okay, I'm just gonna put the first name. Um, okay, and then, where were you born? Hi, Sandy. How are you? Yes, definitely. Cat. There is another Catherine that I said I wanted to. And oh, that's right. Okay, Los Angeles, California. There we go. Okay, and then I need a time. So when is your birthday? You may have already told me, but can you tell me again? I need a birthday and a time that you were born. 3/27, 1976. Okay. Time is 6:08 a.m. Okay. Okay. We're gonna do. We'll do Placidus. Make sure I've got everything. Okay. March 27th, 1976. Yeah, exactly, Cat. Or Catherine. Okay, here we go, Francesca. Let's look. So, Francesca, are you married? Are you wanting to get married? Does anyone else have multiple Pluto transits currently going on? This is what Keyshawn said. I have it conjunct my Venus and Jupiter for the next few years. Ooh, ooh. Yes, married. Okay. And so, what is it that you're trying to figure out? So, ooh, you're a Sag. So you're a Sag rising. Does this look correct? And a, oh gosh, and a Sag. Jesus. And a Pisces moon. Ooh, you fight with yourself a lot, don't you? Yeah. And you've got Chiron in that first house. Oh, there is a wound about being you. It's like every time you try to be you. I'm sorry, you're Aries. I apologize. See, I'm looking. That's why I said I need to. I'm sorry, you are an Aries rising. I apologize. This is Sag. This is Aries. That was my fault. So, still fire. Still what I'm getting. So, Aries rising and sun. Here's the thing though, Francesca. Because the sun is in your 12th house, look at all this in your 12th house. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see it. Okay, I'm going to put it over here. Let's see. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. I'm going to move it a little bit, okay? Okay. Do you see this? You have the sun, Mercury, Venus, and the moon in your 12th house, okay? Anytime the sun is in the 12th house for me, I feel like when you've always felt like you probably were looked over or couldn't be yourself or people didn't pay attention to you. Is that right? I mean, because Aries is your first house, but you have the sun, which is the sun is what we most identify ourselves with. But you've probably felt like when you talk, you're not heard. when you try to do something or try to give something, like give of your time, give your love, give your, it's not reciprocated. Do you feel like that? And your moon is in there. You've got a really hard chart. Yeah, you're 76, so you've probably gone through a lot of this. This may be when you were younger. So, um, there's something about you being you that there's a wound there, and especially with all these. I mean, you've got a stellium in your 12th house, right? So, um, but it is, you have a south node here. So you've done this before. Yeah, yeah, you've probably understood better about who you are. You do have luck here because you have Jupiter here, but let me take a look at this really quickly. I'm just saying all of this where you were ignored, where you're not seen, where you're not. It's almost like people would ask your opinion and then you give it and then they don't even like acknowledge your opinion, you know. Um, Maybe you won first place in something, but the second place got the accolades, or I mean, it was stuff like that. Even now, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Like Aries needs to be. So I've said this before. Aries rising um, needs to, and David's here. He just showed up, and David is an Aries rising. Like you came here to be about you. You came here to put yourself first, right? And it could be, and I wouldn't know until we went, we did hypnosis or whatever, but it could be that you spent many lifetimes doing for others and allowing other people to be who they are, and you were somehow silenced and never got to really unfold who you were. So in this lifetime, you're meant to do that. But there is a wound here. So it's like every time that you try to do for yourself or you make yourself first, there's a wound. There's like something could happen where, I don't know, you tell me how it's working out with you. If you are you still getting that? Because you may have learned to work with this Chiron because you are 1976. So you're older, you're wiser, you're more adjusted, right? You've done this before with this South Node. This is very so that may be why you feel like you're okay, because the South Node tells me that you're very comfortable being you, but it seems like outside sources would make it look like, oh my god, every time I try to do for myself, things happen. Does that make sense? So she says, I'm learning how to put me first. This is really important for your path. Like, not everybody would I say you need to put yourself, like, you need to make sure that you are first, right? Like, I know that there's self-preservation for all of us, right? But some of us are here to like give more or do for others first, right? But you're the opposite. It's imperative. And because this is your South Node too, it's imperative that you put yourself first, but then you see the deeper meaning, your North Node. There's a different way you can do this, right? Yeah, it is really important. And your South, so you're like me, except for opposite. So mine's North Node first house. Yours is South Node first house, and yours seventh house. So the nodes are always opposite of each other, right? So since your first house is activated, so is your seventh. So your seventh, and this has to do with partnerships, right? So is your partner a very deep person? Yeah. But does he think he knows better? And he's very deep. Like that's Scorpio right there, right? And so he may not be like a Scorpio sun or whatever, but he's a Taurus. Okay, so he think he knows better when he says some of the things to you? Like he's not going to move on an opinion about something, but um because he thinks he knows better. Yes, he thinks he knows everything. Yeah. Yeah. So it's weird that he's a Taurus. That's funny that you picked somebody like that because you have Uranus here. So I feel like when I look at the seventh house, it is ruled by Libra. So it's supposed to be balanced, right? And this is what I'm saying. You're used to working in the south node. That's your comfort right there. So what you're trying to figure out is how do I satisfy myself? And there's a wound there, but you have luck when you do it this way. How do I satisfy myself? How do I make my opinions known? How do I get the recognition and the support that I need when I do what I want, along with being balanced enough to satisfy my partners? And it's not just your marriage, it's your business partners too. So it's anything that you do in partnership. Does that make sense to you? They may see you as somebody who changes their mind a lot. And so he doesn't respect the fact that you have the opinion. Does that make sense? Like, because you have Uranus, you can move, you can change, you shock people, like, they think you're going to move one way and you totally go a different way. And they're like, but I thought she really believed in that. And from your point of view, you're like, I did believe in that, but now I believe in this, right? Because you have Uranus there, so you can move easily in there. And it is your north node, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. Um, does all that make sense? I do change. I used to be traditional Christian. Now I'm not. Okay. So if I'm just going to play a scenario here, if just to kind of give you a grip on what I'm saying, if he's still a Christian and you're not a Christian, it doesn't mean you. It may not mean that you hate Christianity or that you hate Christian people. You just have come to a point in your life where you need to do you. And you see how important that is because for so long you didn't do you, right? But you're trying to get him to understand the deeper meaning, Scorpio, of what your expansion or involvement can offer. It's like I'm not it's almost like you would say to your partner, I'm not going to make you believe what I believe. And I'm not saying I'm never going to talk to you because you believe that and I don't believe that. But there's a way that we can work together. She said, even with my looks, I constantly look different. Yeah, definitely. And you will to other people too, because that's Uranus. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. So there I go channeling. Because that's what I was getting is that. So here's the thing about belief systems. And we had talked about if you watch and go watch my live yesterday, last night that I did. Saturn is in Pisces right now. Okay. So Saturn's in Pisces and will be for another 18 months, 16 months, something like that. And look at your Pisces. All of this. Saturn is right over here, right? Saturn is like really, but this is where you shine. This is your, but you got a lot of stuff going on. Okay. This is where, let me try to get this where I don't confuse you. This is I was going to do the video on uh, your par fortune, everybody's par fortune and what that is, but that's when I got uprooted and had to move to Oregon, so I didn't get to do it, but I'm going to do it. This is where you shine best for everyone. This is where, if you take your sun, your moon, and your rising, this is where you shine best. So as a Pisces, you shine best. Let me explain that a little further. When I talked about last night where Saturn is in Pisces and Neptune is there and Mars is there, and Neptune is saying, I'm right, my ideas are right, and Mars is like, no, I'm right, my ideas are right. And so we're all going to be thinking our ideas are the correct ones, and we're not going to back down from it right now because Mars is right there in Pisces. But Saturn, for the long haul, is trying to help us understand what our belief systems are. What do you believe in? And do you believe in it because they told you to believe in it? Your parents, your grandparents, your society, your culture, your country, your state? What do you believe? Or is it because you gathered the information and now you believe in it? Does that make sense? So, and you have Venus right there. So when you do this, you will get gifts. So things will go your way, right? But it's your 12th house, so you can't see it. Now, I don't know how far along you are from leaving Christianity and believing something else right now, but I'm working in the 12th house for myself because Pluto's in my 12th house right now and will be for the next, I think, 10 years, and then I move into the first house. But what my higher self has said, what the other side has said to me is, you don't need to see it. It's the 12th house, but you have accolades, you have modalities, you have ways, and this is what you've been doing all your life to be able to feel it and sense it and have it come through where it gives you clarity. Does that make sense? So, this is very activated for you right now. This is your belief system. What do you believe in? And the reason I was saying this is because as a Taurus, your husband, if it's more, they're not adaptable, right? So so when we don't see something or our views are being pitted against us, like, why do you believe that? That's unnecessary, that's so foolish, that's blah blah blah. As a Taurus, that's the first thing that he's going to do is react and fight for it, because remember, we have this activated. So not only do you have this activated, but we have Pisces activated. Saturn is here to show us to unmask, like I said to everyone, unmask. It's like you're on the spectrum, and for those of you that might be, a lot of us are, uh, and high masking. A lot of us older are high masking autistic or high masking in the spectrum somewhere, right? Whatever, I don't care about labels. I'm just doing it so that you understand what I'm saying, okay? But what I'm saying is, if you've never gotten the chance to know who you are because you had to mask all your life, this is where Saturn's coming to heal that. And I won't say heal that, but realign you with that. Does that make sense? Hello, be right back. Would like to ask, please. Yes. Definitely, Rhiannon. Need a few minutes and I'll be back to chat. Okay. I started meditation. I believe in higher power. I started doing some Hindu chanting. Perfect. So you have to understand that your husband knew you as one way, and now he sees you as a different thing, and that he may be fearful. He may not tell you that, but he may be fearful because his belief systems may be being in question. Does that make sense? And for any other person, I would be like, well, that's his problem, right? But not you, because you have come here with that Chiron. It's someone you love, it's someone that you know, it's someone that you've invested in, it's someone that you have a life with, eighth house, and you've done this before. Remember what I said, your past life? You've done this before where you allowed people to be what they believed, and then you believed it because they believed it, and then you just went along with it in past lives. And this may be this big thing that you're trying to do, is that you are trying to, this life, understand that I can let them have their belief systems, because you could have been someone in a past life who, if you showed your belief system, you would have gotten crucified or persecuted or ousted, right? And so you didn't do it. But this time you can. This time you can have your belief system. This time you can have who you are and show that and not be a threat to others. Does that make sense? This is what you're trying to figure out. Let me know if that makes sense. I'm gonna take a drink of my coffee, okay? Before it gets cold. You are so welcome. And for those of you that want to see me like Rianne, and I'm so sorry, Rianne, I haven't gotten to email you back. You can email me at yourpath. David can put it up there. Yourpath39 at Gmail. I can put you on the schedule, but it's going to be probably a month out, even longer for some of you. If you want to be put on the schedule, because again, I don't have all of my equipment. We can do it this way if you're okay with that. But until I can get a place where I can set myself up, you can email me. You're so welcome. So I know. So before I do the next one, I want to see if Rhiannon, because Rhiannon's been emailing me and she really wants on my schedule, and I just haven't gotten to get back with her. We had a sick baby all week. Thank you, David. So for those of you that don't know, David has been my sidekick for forever. I don't even know how long. It's forever. I just got back to the car. Okay. Rhiannon, it's okay to ask. Is it okay? Yes. And I just said, Rhiannon, thank you. So I'm so sorry I haven't gotten back to you. We had a, my grandbaby was sick all last week. And so you're so welcome, Francesca. I hope that helps. Rhiannon, I know you went on my schedule. I will try to email you. Like, this is the first time I've kind of had alone time. So, bear with me. I'm not ignoring you. I'm doing the best that I can. I don't even have all my equipment. I truly appreciate you. You know, I really appreciate that you said that. And I want each one of you to know that I really appreciate each one of you. I really, really do. Thank you. This is maybe the less serious question. Okay, Rhiannon, what's the question? Do I need your chart? But I really appreciate each one of you. Um, like all of you, you've been here for so long. You've just been with me in all my shenanigans, up and down, back and forth. like, like you guys just and if you guys don't know, because I said this last night, Pluto for the last 16 years, well, not the whole 16 years, but the last, what, 14 years, went through my 11th house. So it was about me unmasking and then trying to get to the core of what I believe with everything that I have and everything that I learned, and letting go of groups, and then forming, not even forming, just attracting who I am, right? Rhiannon, I just met a friend and we are getting to know each other. There's an issue though. I am wondering, is there something I can do to help with it? Hmm. I just met a friend. So here's the thing, Rhiannon, because your question is there an issue? Oh, there's an issue though, and I'm wondering, is there something I can do to help with it? So what's the issue? Like, because if I remember, Rhiannon, this is about you, the person that you attract or want to be with. Oh, okay. Okay. No. So here's what I'm getting. That no, So what I'm hearing really big is you need to relax. Yeah. No, it's not you. So she says something he says is not important, but it is important to me. I'm wondering, is it just me? No. Well, let me say this a different way. It is you, and that is important. This is very important for you because in the past, I don't want to say this. I mean, I want to say this, but I don't know what to say. Because you and I have seen each other many times. Um, it's important for you to see what's not going to match with you and validate that. It's no more, Rhiannon, about you saying, oh, well, maybe that's okay. Oh, well, I can kind of get by with that one. That's a little bit of a red flag, but I'm okay with it. No, because later on, and we've seen this, right, Rhiannon? That comes up in a big way. So without getting too personal, if you're seeing and it is bothering you, you it's almost like you're coming from a place of lack if you do it that way, where it's bothering you, but you're like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. And he is not the only one, right? And if you want to dig more into something that he said, because he may not realize that it isn't that important to you, and that's part of getting to know each other. You need to be honest. You can do it two ways. Either see it for what it is and say, I'm not gonna, that's a no for me. Or you can say, okay, I'm willing to let him in a little bit and let him know that this is really bothering me and see how he reacts. And if he validates that, because sometimes people say something off the cuff and it means nothing to them, but to somebody else it may hurt their feelings, right? Or it may be a red flag. But you won't know until you get to know each other, right? And so I can't, so the answer is not for me to tell you, oh, it's a big red flag, you need to walk away. What you're trying to understand, Rhiannon, is that he, that you get to make a choice about what type of deep relationship you want. Does that make sense? Sandy says, we appreciate all your videos and all your information. Thank you, Sandy. He seems to be fitting many things, but it's a physical thing that is not finishing. And that part is kind of important to me to know. That's my partner, that my partner is happy and makes me happy, probably just from my issues. Even if it's just from, see, do you see what you just said when you're like, probably just me? But probably just you, Rhiannon, is important. You're important. If that's something that you need to work through, give yourself enough credit. Quit trying to be the yes man. You know, or I mean, I call it the yes man, but quit trying to be the partner that's going, and trust me, I did this. Quit trying to be the partner that's going to do whatever it is that they want. It's just like Francesca, you know, her having the importance of being her. Does that make sense? How can I get in touch with you to understand my chart? So, David, can you put my email address in Aries Saves Lives? Can you, you can email me. And again, all of you that email me, I'm going to try to put you on my schedule, but we're looking at a month and something out, okay? Because I don't have a place where I can do this and give you my full attention. Does that make sense? Sugar Bear said, can I get a reading? Yes, I saw that. I have somebody else ahead of you, I think. Thank you, David. Mm, I don't. So let me answer that question because Sugar Bear says, are you seeing my messages or are you ignoring my chat? Well, I'm going to try to be nice. If I ignore your chat, it's because I'm focused on somebody that I'm reading. And secondly, that's not the type of person that I am, that I would like knowingly ignore somebody. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I remember you from years ago. Thank you, Aries. He was actually very amazing and supportive, but it is confusing to me to know if he is actually going to be happy. He said, give it time. I just never been in this situation. Okay. Sugar Bear. Sugar Bear says, be nice to Aries, you know me. Okay, then you know me. I'm not going to ignore you on purpose. I'm trying to focus on Miss Rhiannon because she's been trying to get a hold of me forever. So give me just a second, okay? Thank you so much for your help. Sorry to ask that in a chat. Rhiannon, I don't have a problem telling you. I just don't want to give all of your information out, okay? So, um, Sugar Bear, we'll start over, okay? Neutral energy. I love you. You love me. We're good. But y'all already know me. That sad side will come out and um, and I don't even want to do the hearts because then you kind of see who I am with hearts. Like, am I Gen X? Am I millennial? Am I Gen Z? We all know I'm not Gen Z. Um, anyway, I heard it before it began. David already knows me. Okay, so you used to drink big cups of coffee. Yes, I still have my coffee. I don't often do Starbucks anymore. I kind of make my own now. We've all changed. We've all grown. I love coffee. I've been drinking coffee since I was, you know, wee little girl with my grandmother and the sunrise on the porch. Right? Okay. So thank you, Rhiannon. I appreciate you, and I will email you back. I know you want to go, and Rhiannon, I know you want to do hypnosis, so I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to do that. Um, and I don't want to give you a time and then have to reschedule. So I'm still working on that, but Rhiannon, I'll get back to you. Okay, let's see. So before Sugar Bear, did somebody else ask me? Somebody else had asked me, and then I can do Sugar Bear. I can pull your chart and I'll answer one question. That way, everybody kind of, you're welcome, sweetheart. Love you. Um, that way, I can kind of help people, other people too, okay? You know what's funny, Sugar Bear? I was just thinking, your Aries and my Sag. Woo. But together, we can knock down all kinds of doors. I just didn't know if he was lying because I've never heard that really happen. Oh, you mean dealing with somebody that's mature enough to communicate? Yes, dear. There are people out there. Now you just have to make your choice, okay? But we'll look and we'll gather information so you make the choice best for you. Okay, Rhiannon? Okay. So we have the same date of birth. So Aries saves lives. You and Sugar Bear have the same date of birth? That's funny. Okay. I'm going to put you under Sugar Bear, okay? Or do you want me to put you under your real name? I'm not a normal Aries. I'm not the foolish Aries. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, you're like my daughter. Okay, cat. So Sugar Bear, it was cat C. So let me do cat first, and then I'll do you, okay? Are we good? No boundaries crossed? We're okay? I'm just messing with you. Okay, cat. So let me, because she was here first. I knew there was somebody else. I think her name's Kat. I think your name's Catherine, right? Ryan. Okay. Remind me about that, Ryan. Kat, can you give me your birth date? Thank you. Thank you for waiting, Ryan. You're welcome, Rhiannon. Actually, I'm going to put Cat C on here because that's what you go by. So, Kat, can you give me, I need birth date, birth time, birth location, okay? Let's see if we put it this way a little bit. Kat, I'm just waiting for birth date, birth time, birth location. David, I can't, because I'm not taking a picture of it. I know. Okay, March 11th, 1959. Gotcha. March 11th, 1959. St. Paul, Minnesota, 3 p.m. 3:10 p.m. 3:10. I'm just making sure I got that correct. Okay. 3:10 p.m. March 11th, 1959, and St. Paul, Minnesota. Okay. Mm. Oh my God, it's got to be like right at the end. Here we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. There we go. Okay. And we're going to use Placidus, okay? Because I have to talk about why Placidus. Okay, Kat. So you're a Leo rising, is that correct? You're Leo rising. And your sun is Pisces. Wow, okay. Oh, I bet you are beautiful. Leo and sun? And your moon is Aries? Is that correct? Okay. Wow. I bet people find you very beautiful to look at. You have Pluto in your first house. Okay, Kat, is there a specific question that you want me to sort of look at and see if I can answer with your chart? Or just kind of give you an overall North Node, South Node, Pluto kind of thing? Where is your Capricorn? Hmm. Have you been taking care of yourself? Like eating right, implementing some daily, whether that's, working out, walking, yoga, anything like that. Because that Capricorn's been in that fifth and sixth house, and it's in your sixth house now. Now, I'm talking about Pluto being there. You may have struggled with that stuff over the last 16 years, really understanding that. Hmm. Hmm. I feel like things probably have come easy for you, in the way of learning or education of some sort, or okay. Thanks, Rhiannon. So you have the moon in the ninth house, but you have the south node there as well, because your north node is about your skills, and I feel like you haven't had to struggle with that, and like maybe things come easy to you, maybe learning things come easy to you, maybe bigger understanding comes easy to you. You also get gifted with these things, and so you've probably had to learn how to put in extra work in some stuff. No, just overall. Okay. So I'm seeing that with your north node, um, it's almost like really, well, you are a Pisces. Yes, your sun's Pisces, so things, you kind of know that there are no boundaries, that you're connected to the universe, to your higher self, to source, to all of that. Like that comes naturally to you. And you are gifted when you manifest those things or want to like you already know. How do I say this? You already know. It's almost like when the word manifestation came out, you're like, okay, I'll try it, but I already kind of do it. But you maybe didn't think that you were doing it. Okay. Um, yeah, this has to do with your third house. That may be why I'm focusing on the north and south node. You're having to actually, how do I say this? Mm. So there was a point in time, I'm going to say it this way. There was a point in time where I was like, it doesn't matter that I can see you on the other side, because I've had a lot of loss in my life, right? But that's my life. My life is about the other side and bringing it here, right? And translating and talking to the other side and translating and giving it to this side. And so, of course, I'm close to death. There's a lot of, I mean, the other side and me are really close, right? And I almost feel that way with you. It's like at some point I was so angry and upset that I was like, it doesn't matter that I know that you're still living, that you're still conscious, that you're still energy. It doesn't matter. I want to know why you have to be there and I have to be here. Does that make sense, Kat? Like it doesn't, like I remember saying that to one of my, either my mother or my spouse or somebody. Like it doesn't matter that I can talk to you. I want you here. Does that make sense? Yeah, I am sorry about your loss. I can tell you what I'm hearing, and I don't know if you want me to say this aloud. I'm going to say this aloud. You have to find your reason, not the reason what you thought your reasons were valid and they were true, but that's not your reason anymore for being here. Because here's the thing. I mean, I've said this before too. I remember like knowing, uh, having traveled with my beings and them helping me see other dimensions and that me experiencing those other things. And I'm like, when you get so far like that, you're thinking, well, everything works out anyway. So why do I need to participate, right? And this is kind of where you are, and what I'm hearing from, and I think this is your son that I'm hearing it from, is that you have to find your why. This is your North Node. You have to find your skill. You have to find who you are and know that it's not just one reason that you're here. This is why, like, the life purpose thing. What's your life purpose? You have many life purposes. We all have many life purposes. Which one are you going to take up? Which one do you want? That's part of your purpose, is to find out who you are and what you want to experience in this life. And that's not going to take any of the pain away. This is what your son's saying. But it will help you understand and put some boundaries to the boundless. You already know that that this is not where we end. You already know that. You don't even have to be proven to. You have that within you to know. Like, you're conscious of that. But when you know that everything's going to work out, you're like, well, then what's my part? Why do I need to be here? What do I need to do? Right? And that's part of this, is you finding not, I was living because I wanted to be a mother, or I was living because I wanted to be a spouse, or I was living because I wanted to, have a big career and be famous or whatever. Those are for other people. You have to learn why. You have to, like, pick up your own reason for you, not for anybody else, not because anybody else needs you, but because you want to be here. Does that make sense, Kat? And he's being very vocal, so I've asked him to sort of step back, because when they come through, they can kind of take over sometimes, because they know that I want to give the message. So I've asked him just to give me the important stuff that needs to be said now. The other thing I'm hearing from him is, he said the important part is that you're still healing. You're still healing. And you may, I don't even know when he passed, but you may think that you've already healed that part, but you didn't allow yourself to go into that and honor yourself and heal that. Does that make sense, Kat? Yeah. So he said, can I say one more thing? And he said, allow yourself and validate yourself, and that's where you start. Did you ask where to start? Because he just said, tell her that's where to start, is to be able to sit in it and acknowledge it and validate it and understand that you are important. You're so welcome. And I'll leave it like that. Kat, you can email me and always come see me. So Ryan is next. Ryan, I need birth date, birth time, birth location. 2 years, February, yes. Okay. Kat said it's been 2 years. Yeah. Honey, you're still healing. You're still healing. Kensington, Jamaica. Okay. Okay. Then March 26, 1992. Okay. March 26. $1992, about 11-ish. Okay. I'm just gonna say 11 a.m. Okay. All right. You also got a first south node. Okay, so your ascending is Gemini. Does that look right? Your sun is Aries, and your moon is Capricorn. Wow. Okay. Do you have a particular question? Hmm. You got Pluto in that fifth house. Your north node, you're like me, but opposite. You've got the south node in your first. You're like her. Cat. South node in first. Or it wasn't Cat, it was somebody else. North node in the seventh. Hmm. So you have always had pretty good luck. Like you can tell when people are lying to you. You have that Neptune there, you have the moon there, so you can feel it. When it comes to your partnerships, whether that's business or love, you are supposed to be more. That Gemini may want you to like not get so deep with people, but it's necessary for you too. I'm a helper financially now. I'm a helper financially, but now I need help. However, I know things will pick up back. I just need to know to break the cycle between being wealthy and poor. Okay, let's look at your second house. So wow, you've got 10th house Pisces, right? Which is a very good house to be able to manifest in. And then you've got Venus right there. So you probably are really good because you've got your Sun and Mercury. So you're really good at explaining. That has to do with your Gemini too. So you're really good at that. So the financial part is good. It looks like you're in the right place. Here's your problem. You got Chiron in your second house, and Cancer rules your second house. So even though Chiron is Leo, it's almost like if you try to do too much or try to be the leader of something, like if you take the initiative because you probably see things really well, it comes back to bite you in the butt. Yeah, this is about you knowing that you are the resource, because I'm working in my, I've had to work in my 11th house, I mean, my second house a lot. Because I've got Saturn, Chiron, and Venus there, right? But you get, because Cancer, think of Cancer as the shell, it's almost like your resource or your worthiness. It's almost like you don't believe, even though you've shown yourself you can do these things, it's almost like you don't. I feel like it's imposter syndrome. Do you sometimes feel like I probably shouldn't have gotten that award because I didn't really do much? Like something like that? Does that make sense to you? It's your belief system in yourself. There's the Chiron there. It's almost like you won't allow yourself, or haven't allowed yourself to be shining and out front and be seen, because you feel like it's imposter. It's like I didn't do much, or speak it. Don't be afraid. Yeah, can you see I'm like struggling with my voice? I feel like it's almost like imposter syndrome. It's like, because life has shown you that sometimes you do the littlest things and get really big accolades or rewards, and then you do the hardest things and don't get seen at all, or it gets thrown to pieces or gets put to the side. It's almost like you don't see the balance of your worthiness. You don't understand that you are, whether it's something small that you've done, whether here, so here's the thing. It's not, because it's Pisces. It's not about how much work you do, because it's not Capricorn. It's about your belief in yourself. But when you have tried to believe in yourself, there's a wound there. So it's almost like, well, the world tells me that if I do this, something always happens for it to get taken away, or for me to feel low about it, or for me to feel like I didn't do enough, or for me to feel like I don't ever get the breaks. Like, does that make sense? Because it's ruled by Cancer, it's like and the 10th house is Pisces. You have to, Gemini doesn't trust a lot. So you have to trust yourself. Look at this line here. You have to trust yourself. That even though it may begin to not look like it's going to go your way. Wow, I'm really struggling. That Chiron. Yeah, Keyshawn, I can look at yours after, and then I'm going to get off after you, Keyshawn, okay? So let me know if that's correct. It's almost, this is about you understanding that even though it's almost like when you put your full heart into it, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes when you put your full heart into something, it doesn't work out. And then it further tells your Cancer that you're not worthy of it, or that just wasn't for you, or I guess I didn't work hard enough, or I guess I didn't da, 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 like whatever you're telling yourself, right? But on the outside, when you show people this, you do get rewarded. You just have this wound here of believing. It's almost like people believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Does that make sense? Universe really scary, or after me. I feel as if it's something is always hunting me down. It's that wound here. And it could be from a past life. Maybe you've brought that with you, where you're feeling like the universe is against you or people are after you or whatever that is. I wouldn't be able to know that until we put you under. But with Pluto in your fifth house, I kind of, I feel like, because I'm looking at your fourth house, because that's where your roots are. That's where I mean, you came from a culture, right? Jamaica. You came from a culture that's all about the fear. I'm going to put fear into you so that you do what I say, do the right thing, do da 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 da. Like, this is something that you need to work with. And then you wanting to be you, the fifth house, you trying to create from your perspective, there's Pluto there. So Pluto's here to show you that you create your life. That even though you came from that, you don't have to be that. You're here to see something bigger, right? And it shows up because it's a wound. It shows up in your second house. It shows up with, I have lots of things sometimes, and then sometimes I have nothing. It's like feast or famine, which further tells your Cancer, yep, you're right. You do it your way because that's the way it's going to be. And if you continue to do it your way, it's always going to be feast or famine. So you're going to have lots and then you're going to have nothing. Does that make sense? You need to, so when I finish my Pluto series, I don't think I've done the fifth house yet, but this really needs to be worked with. Because you have the fourth, so your fourth house is Virgo, right? Yeah. That fourth house is Virgo. So there's something about balancing because you've got Libra in there. Virgo always thinks it knows better, and most of the time it does know better, but there's a way to work with it. And I'm telling you, this is your key to help with not just the trauma, but the wound. And when you can work through these two, you'll start getting, I mean, you've got a Pisces 10th house. That means you should always have the flow of abundance. You just have to step into that energy that you know of. And especially with it being in your, you've got not just Pisces, you've got Venus there. You've got the par of fortune there. You've got Mercury there, and you've got the sun there. All of those means you should always be in abundance if you choose, if that's what you want. Yes, it does make sense. Losing 500,000 trading Forex is no joke. I will try my best to fix things. I will pay for a deeper consultation through email. Thank you. Yes, I would really love to like work with you because this, I mean, you've got so much on your side. It's this wound and it's this trauma, and we can get you there. We definitely can. Okay, so I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do Keyshawn. Hopefully I haven't ignored anybody. Right, Ryan? I'm just messing with you. Okay. Let me do Keyshawn. I need birth date, birth time, birthplace. Okay, Keyshawn? Trayvon. Okay, let's see. So February 5th, there's my aqua. I knew there was going to be a hiding aqua somewhere. 1997. So Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, United States. Uh, hold on a second. Let me move this back. Okay, Kentucky, Louisville, February 5th. I already told you aquas. Get ready, because y'all need to come out. It's your time. 1997. 3:30 a.m. Okay. Keyshawn, you're an Aqua, and you just reminded me that you were afraid to ask for. Are you feel guilty for asking for anything? We need to work on that because you're an Aqua. You should not be feeling that way. You need to step into your Aqua. See who you are. Oh my gosh, you're a Sag. You're a Sag rising. You need to step in that Sag. Step in that Sag side. Oh, you've got Pluto in your 12th. Ugh. Okay. Okay, so you've got the South Node in your 4th. What was the question? North Node in your 10th. And you've got Mars there. Mm. Oh, look at this second house. Is this seriously your chart? Oh my gosh, look at that stellium there. No wonder you have a problem asking for help. Yeah, I agree, Ryan, but she's got a Sag rising. But here's the problem. Do you see how she has these things going on in her second house as well? I've always been a hermit and felt unlovable. I attract a lot of emotional, abusive people, and I've had a lot of paranormal experiences throughout my life. I've been obsessed with anything occult. That's what Keyshawn says. I can tell you right now, this is a big thing that has to do with it, right? So you've got the sun. You've got a lot of movement here. Look at this. You've got the sun, Uranus, Jupiter, Venus, Neptune, Mercury, the moon, and your part for fortune. You're confused. I mean, you're so confused. You're trying to gather the information, right? You're trying, and you've probably tried, like you said, anything occult really calls to you, but you've been a hermit. Um, you do have a South Node Pisces. It's in your 4th house, but it's got Saturn right next to it. God, did you make it? Could you make it any harder on yourself? But you've got Mars up here too. So Mars and Saturn have probably always been fighting with each other. It's like, no, I say what goes. And Saturn's like, no, you have to do it the right way. And Mars is like, no, but this is what I'm supposed to do. And Saturn's like, that may be what you think you're supposed to do, but you're supposed to do it in a little different way. And then you've got all of this stuff that's talking to Mars. Look, and the North Node saying, you are completely capable of doing all of this, but you have to get outside of yourself. Like, you have to, like, you have to take a chance. Does that make sense? It's almost like when things come to you or opportunities come to you, you may not see it as an opportunity, you might. But if you see it as opportunity, you're like, yep, I think this year I've been finding confidence. Good. Here's what I'm going to tell you, because it's your aqua. David's going to laugh at this, but it's your aqua that's holding you back. I need you to step into your Sag side. Okay? Because here's the thing, and I don't fault you for this because you've got all this going on that confuses you. You're like so tuned in to the flow of how this universe can work, but you forget that you have some blind spots. Here's your big blind spot right here. Okay, you got Pluto in your 12th house. So even though you may feel it, you may see it, you may do the modality about it, you may da 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 da, you may Aquarian it out and say, okay, when somebody gives you an opportunity, you're like, I don't see the way. I don't see the steps. I don't see it working out. I don't see it happening. I don't see it. Like, you're that Aquarius that'll be like, I don't see it, so I'm not going to do it. But you have to know, this is on purpose that you did this, because you have to know that there are times, this is Pluto getting you through your trauma. There are times where you are not going to see it on purpose, or not feel it, or feel it the wrong way, because you have to learn. I know this sounds counterintuitive, but you have to learn to trust mm, humanity, the universe, and know that your perspective is one perspective. Does that make sense to you, Keyshawn? Like, it's almost like you're so tuned into, let me say it this way, you're so tuned into the universe. Yes, Lorna. Well, you're in Vegas vacationing. I didn't want to tell you, Lorna. It's almost like you're so tuned in that you think you know better. But let me say it this way, Keyshawn. You know better, and you would be completely right if you weren't working by the laws of the universe. You haven't considered that law of the universe into your equation. And so for that reason, it may not work out the way that you think it should. Does that make sense? It's typical Aquarian. We think we know better, but we know better in spiritual, in spirit, in other universes, in other dimensions. We may know because that's the way the laws work. But in this life, in this dimension, we're going to, you're meant, not everybody, but you're meant to work within. There's a reason that you can't see what comes to you. Oh, thank you, Aries. If you guys could like this, subscribe, share this out. The algorithm does not know me anymore because I've been gone so long, and since January I've been trying to get back to it. So, oh my, this is gonna make me cry. Aw. So in my work, when somebody cries, I know this sounds really bad, but in my work, when someone cries, that means they got it. So to me, that's a transmutation of energy, and that means that you're finally going to progress forward. Does that make sense? Lorna, I'm about to get off and take a break. So much reassurance. Lots have been going on. Yeah, for a lot of us, Keyshawn. And the reason I'm saying a lot of us, and I'm not discounting your feelings, what I'm saying is you are not alone. Aquarian, Sagittarius, and where's your moon? Capricorn, you're not alone. Feels like I'm finally stepping into my power, right? I cried. Cindi is amazing. Oh, thanks, Kat. Again, I know that sounds bad when I say that you, if you cry, it, to me in my work, if I see that, I mean, if you don't have to cry, but when I see that, it means that you got it. It means that we're finally going to move through this. I want each and every one of you to know, what is all this for that we've been learning? What is all this for that we've been connecting? It's to help us and to know that we're not alone. We're going into Aquarian energy. We're in Aquarius energy right now with Pluto, right? But it's going to go back into Capricorn. Watch my live yesterday. It's going to go back into Capricorn, but we are going to learn over the next 20 years how to keep our anonymity, because Aquarius likes their anonymity, but also how to work in a group, how to help each other, how to not do it alone, how to understand that we don't have to do this alone. We can. We're just making it harder for ourselves, Aquarius, but we don't have to. But that means, Aquarius, that we are vulnerable. Like for me to tell you guys and be so authentic, which is Saturn in Pisces right now, right? Authenticity is what I've said. It's not easy for me to say, I have been uprooted. I have been da 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 da. This is what's going on because we feel like we don't have our shit together, but we do. It's just that we're birthing a new time. We're birthing a new place. We're birthing a new reality. Does that make sense? So, Keyshawn and others, I can tell you this, you can do it alone, but you don't have to do it alone. And each one of us gets to make that choice. Okay? And that's what Pluto is going to teach us in Aquarius. And that's what Saturn is preparing us for in Pisces, to be authentic, to know what we want. And this is why I'm doing this retrograde. We are going to have a retrograded planet every month from May until January. That means the universe is working with us. So each retrograde allows us to say, oh, now that I understand, now what do I want to do with that? How am I going to pivot, readjust, reassume, reassess, all the re's, right? Can I have the email before you go? Absolutely. David, can you put my email back up? It's yourpath39 at Gmail. But David will put it back up. Ask Lorna. Lorna's on here. The day that I was uprooted, and I'm going to be really authentic with y'all. The day I was uprooted, I said, I need help. Lorna said, what do you need? I mean, she didn't even ask any questions. She said, what do you need? David was already there with me, but she said, what do you need? And later on, I'll tell y'all at some point, because I don't want to disclose until we've talked. But could I have done it alone? Absolutely. But for some reason, I looked up and I said, I don't want to do this time alone. I have moved lots, but I didn't want to do this alone this time. And I'm being really authentic with you guys. You don't have to do this alone. You can. Could I have done it alone? Absolutely. I would have figured it out. I always have. But I don't have to. I didn't have to. And why is that? Because for the last 8 to 10 years, 14 years, I have been really good working through my 11th house about having the right people around me. The people who I love, the people who's got my back, the people who I have their back. Exactly. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That was a big thing for me, right? Yeah. We're all tired. We're all tired. And that's why we can do this together, because when one rests, the other one can step it up. And then the other rests, and the other one can step it up. Yeah. Aries, you know that Aries save lives. You know that I was in the medical field for 19, almost 20 years. So I bet you are tired. I left. Even before the pandemic, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Send me your email too. I need medical attention. All right, guys. So I'm going to take a break, give my voice a rest. My Gemini rising, right? I'm going to take a break, give myself an hour. I need to eat something as well. And then if I can, depending on if my grandbaby's back or not, I will try to get on here again. Okay. I want to thank everybody for supporting me, for joining today. I hope each one of you got something out of this. Um, yeah, and thank you for always being there with me. I appreciate it. And I will see you soon. Bye.